Just want to leave you with a good mental health nugget today. One of the things I want to talk about is that sometimes, in my experience as a trauma informed therapist, sometimes our childhoods aren't as secure as we would like them to be, either because a parental figure or a guardian wasn't as stable, wasn't able to meet some of our needs, wasn't as consistent in terms of giving us safety, feeling of protection, or love, especially unconditional love. So what we did is that we became attached to things that were stable, like being a student. That my personal life might be unstable, but this school is always here. My personal life might be unstable, and there might be people when I'm in pain who don't give me a hug. But I know that if I get this grade, that gives me some reward. I get a check mark. I get validated. That the math doesn't change. Math is math. And that's stable for a lot of people. So the attachment they have at school replace the attachment that they don't have in their personal life, where everything seems unstable, maybe even chaotic or unpredictable, or they feel isolated. But at school, they don't quite feel isolated. They feel attached to the work. They feel attached to the people or the teachers, or they feel attached to the students. And that attachment to school gets transferred to that attachment at work, where work then becomes life. It becomes a place where we seek and get relationships where we feel appraised, we feel valued, we feel connected, we feel supported, we feel seen. Because I do an excellent job, if I meet the deadlines, if I own my own business, I get rewarded. People see me as special, as the boss, as the person who's a hard worker, as loyal. So that becomes my attachment. And for some people, that attachment is so strong that it forms an identity. That's who I am. They can't see who they are past their work experience, which is why, for a lot of people who were laid off last year, the hardest thing is to redefining who they are separate from the work. Because the attachment to work, similar to the attachment to school, has been consistent. Excellent students become excellent employees become excellent supervisors. Excellent supervisors sometimes become excellent business owners, and they ascend up in the food chain. But what happens if you're an excellent worker and life happens to you? There are budget cuts, there are furlough. Who then do you become? When the thing that represented safety, which is an agency, an organization, right? A dynamic of school, becomes now not a safe place. It becomes a place that's not welcoming or inviting or validating. What happens is that you go into crisis. It makes you anxious. And for many people, they begin to grieve. Grieve the loss of identity, grieve the loss of connection, and grieve the loss of validation of who they are. So if that's you, I want to say there is life past work. Figure out who you are, explore some hobbies, consider doing some appeal on the attachments if they're interpersonal attachments. Find connection with people who are similar to you outside of work, because oftentimes our work friends don't translate to our life friends. There are people who meet us at work, who share things at work, and it doesn't always transfer to doing things with you outside of work. And if it does, sometimes it's work based. So I want you to really consider finding some other places that are safe places for you, places where people will value you, will miss you if you don't show up. People, where people will figure out who you are separate. They'll enjoy your humor, they'll enjoy your kindness, but most of all, they'll get to know you, separate from what you do and from what you create. Because you are not what you do, and you're not what you create. So take a moment to really figure out create safe attachment to others outside of the work experience. And bigger than that, how do you create safe attachment to you as a person? I'm Candace Dickens. I'm a certified counselor. I'm certified in EMDR, IFS, brain spotting, somatic experiencing, and Imago counseling. But that's not who I am. That's what I'm certified in. Right? Who I am is Candace Richardson Dickens, a woman who loves life, who loves nature, who loves to laugh, who loves to be around people, someone who loves to garden, someone who's curious about life. That's who I am. That's not what I do. That's who I am at my core. Someone who gives grace in that judgment. That's who I am. So part of attaching to the universe is also becoming more attached to you based on who you are at your core, separate from what you do, what you create, and who you lead. Those are important things. So I just want to leave you with that as you journey through life. The more attached you become, the more grounded you become. The more grounded you become, the more self aware you become. And no matter what happens in your environment, at work or in your personal life, you'll never lose you again. Take care, everyone. Bye. And if you're looking for a clinician, I'm always looking for clients. Visit my website, Let's Talk for Free, for a free consultation. You can go to my website at CandiceRDickens.com. Take care of you on purpose. Bye.